AI Deeplog is a machine learning-based log monitoring system. This system learns log patterns. It is able to detect anomalies in the future state of the system. Currently, log monitoring is a long and tedious process, which is prone to errors. Additionally, finding the root cause is challenging. I'll talk about all of these topics with Abrar Hussain, who is part of the IoT Accelerator. Hi, Abrar.
Hi, Bharti. Thank you for inviting me.
Nice to have you here. Why did you find it important implementing the AI Deeplog?
So the need arises from some of the team working on IoT Accelerator project. There are two main components. One is the BSS, the other is the DCP. In BSS, some of the important components are deployed in the OpenShift containers and pods. So the pods are continuously generating the logs, and these logs are enormous in number, very huge agentic logs that are being generated there. They are generated in milliseconds. So we have to scan those logs for errors, and it's very difficult to scan all those logs. So we were thinking of some automation plus intelligent solution that it can automatically scan those logs and detect the errors in the real-time logs so that we can minimize the frequency of the major incidents.
Thank you. Could you give us a brief introduction about the architecture, just to give us an idea about how it works?
Yeah, surely. About the brief architecture. So the Deeplog consists of three submodels. One is the log key anomaly detection, the second is the workflow, and third is the parameter value anomaly detection. So if we have a log entry and there is a time step and then there's a print statement here, then it can be divided into two parts. One is the log key and then is the parameter value. The log key is the string literals in the print statements, and the parameters are the timestamp and what are the values in those log keys. So we can take those different log keys and parameter value, and then we can train on some models of this Deeplog.
So as I know, this project is in a pilot phase, but it would be great to see if there was any situation where this solution has already been useful.
Yeah, so I already told you that the need has arisen from some of the teams in IoT Accelerator. So in IoT Accelerator, we have this BSS component, and it has further this OpenShift components. And we have taken for our pilot project one of the subcomponents that is divided into OpenShift container. This is called subscription management. We are taking the logs of subscription management and trying to detect the anomalies in the logs that are being generated continuously. So what we have done is that we have taken around 800,000 different log lines from subscription management. Then we trained onto the AI Deeplog, which is actually based on the LSTMs, that it can learn the pattern in these logs. And after learning these log patterns, when the future entries are coming, it can check that whether the future entries are as per the prediction of the AI Deeplog or not. If the future logs are not matching the current pattern of the logs, then it can say that, okay, there's some anomaly and it should be checked by the system. So show you some of the importance of this solution, that these are the logs that are being generated on 12th of October and it started at 22 at 2024, and then within 2 hours we have 800,000 different log lines. It's gigantic and it's difficult to scan all those log lines. So what we do here is that this is unstructured data, and then we change using some log parsers to structured one, and then we extract the log keys and parameter values from these logs. And then using these log keys, we identify which are the important ones and which are the rare events. The rare events are those which are occurring less than 1,000 times or 500 times in all those 800,000 times. And then we train this model on all those log keys, and model will try to find the proper sequence of the log keys that are occurring. And then it will predict for the future which log key entries will occur in the future actually. And then we train on this, and then there are some results that we found on test data set, that it is using a window of 20 log keys, it can predict that what will be the next entry and what will be the next entry. So when the next entry come and what the model is predicted are in close agreement with each other, we say that, okay, the system is working normal. But if the next entry comes and it is different from what the model has predicted, then we say that some anomaly has been occurred in the system. So for this, the system identified, AI Deeplog identified there are two anomalies in the system. So this can be false positive, and this need further consideration by the production team actually.
So there are several processes that will be shorter if we apply AI Deeplog, but could you summarize what are the advantages users can gain by this?
So coming to the benefits, the first thing is that in the production or even anywhere, the teams monitoring their task will be much more simplified and by using AI Deeplog, because it can automatically scan the logs and it can detect that what point in the future if something is going to be happen bad or major incident. So major incidents frequency can be decreased, and then the overall downtime of the system can be decreased. So it will somehow help the overall system to be work in more efficient way and can increase the revenue of this organization also. And we have some future plans also for this AI Deeplog, that we are deploying in a single component now, but we are trying to scale in the horizontal direction for all the OpenShift components in BSS, and then we will, if it's working good, then we will deploy in the production environment also.
I wish you luck with getting this into the production, and I think now we are curious to see how it works real time.
Okay, so I will show a working demo of AI Deeplog. So we have data from all those 800,000 log lines that I talked about from subscription management. And then we apply a log parser like drain, and then these logs are changed from this unstructured data within a few minutes to a structured one. And then we get the structured logs for training AI Deeplog algorithm. That is an LSTM-based model, and then taking those structured logs, we train the model. We have some, and so the model takes few hours, 5 to 6 hours for training, but because to save time, I have already saved a model, and then I am checking on some test data. The test data consists of actually 100 log lines that we have taken in a point of time, that we are saying that, okay, that these from this point of time in the past, these are the training data. From this point of time in the future, these are the testing data. So to check that the model can predict something in the future. And when the model is predicting something in the future, whether it is the same thing that will happen in the future. So it's something like that type of testing. So I checked on this test data, and then it is predicting there are some potential anomalies in this sequence. And then in this 100 log lines, it's predicting that there are at this point, these are the anomalies that are happening in here. And I can show you the predictions that are predicted by the AI Deeplog, the sequence that will be follow in the future actually. So taking these 20 logs log key entries, it can predict the new one that will happen after this one. So 20 log keys, and then it will predict the 21st one, and the next 20 log keys, and then predict the next one. So taking these log keys and what are happening in the present, it can predict the future. And then from this result, we have another column here that is predicting 0, that is showing 0 or 1. 0 means that there is no anomaly here, and it is what is this entry that occurred in this real time is what the model is expecting to occur at that time. But 1 shows that there is some anomaly. What the model has predicted and what actually occurred in the test data is different. So at this point, then we need to go back to the logs, and then we need to see those entries, that analyze those entries, that whether there is some anomalous behavior by the logs or by the system, or whether these are some rare events that are actually occurring, and this is a false positive for us. So in this way, how the Deeplog is actually working with the logs of the system. Thank you.
Thank you.